Hi everyone, and welcome to another Rubber Dance Design Team tutorial. This one was inspired by this month's colour challenge over on the Rubber Dance blog, and the colours for December are pink, purple and blue. And I have to admit, they're not probably colours that I would choose to work with normally, so it was a bit of a challenge for me too. But I really like how this card turned out, and I particularly love those hibiscus stamps. So I'm going to show you how to make this card and how I used my inks to create my pink, purple and blue colour scheme. The stamps that I used are the hibiscus stamps, which is NP8-6M. You can get them over at Rubber Dance, and I'll leave you the links and things at the end of this video. I was really excited to receive these stamps because the images are so delicate. I really like them, sort of transparent look at the hibiscus bloom, and I hope that I'm going to do them justice with this card. Starting with a piece of cardstock that measures 7.5 inches by 5.25 inches, we're going to start creating the areas where we're going to do our inking, ready to create a white strip to stamp those lovely hibiscus blooms. So I like to use my Tim Holtz ruler for this, and I want a small strip along the bottom of the card. So I'm drawing a line 1/4 inch from the bottom of the card. Then I'm marking a couple of marks at 3.25 inches, and I'll join those together to create another line that I'm going to mask and create the top area of inking. As usual, to make things easy, all the measurements for this card will be listed over on my blog. So I've got my 2 pencil marks, and now I'm going to mask off the areas one at a time so that I can create those lovely inked areas of pink, blue and purple. So the inks that I'll be using are my distress inks. I thought I could do this 2 masks in one go, but I'm going to do them one at a time, just be a little bit safer. So I've got my ink blending tools, and I've got some Salty Ocean ink, Picked Raspberry and Dusty Concord. So I'm starting by inking the 2 edges. Just be a little bit careful that your post-it notes don't lift up. So just be a little bit gentle. I've speeded this video up a bit so it looks a bit more vigorous than it actually is. And you're going to go to the 2 sides first and then ink across the middle with your 3rd colour. You could do this in any combination of these 3 colours, but I've chosen purple, pink and then blue. And then remove your masks, and mine didn't stay quite sticky enough to use them again, so I'm going to use new post-its to mask off my second area. I want to make sure I get a nice crisp line. So just placing the post-it notes so they're right on that pencil line, and then matching roughly the area that I've already got at the bottom of the strip. I'm going to create the same areas of ink at the top of the card. So my craft mat's a little bit slippy. I could do with one of those non-stick ones to stop it moving about as I do the inking. And then finally blending everything together by swirling the pink ink into the middle. So what I do is lay the colours down, and then I come back in with the 2 colours and blend out those lines where the 2 colours meet. So you get a better blend on the purple and the pink, and it takes a little bit more time to blend the blue into the pink on the other side. So I've got a lovely white area ready to stamp my hibiscus stamps. So I'm masking up again, this time to protect that lovely inked area, and that will just stop the stems of the hibiscus stamps going over the line that I've already created. And you can see, because the distress ink stays wet, I needed to use yet another set of post-it notes. You might have masking tape that you could use that perhaps does a better job than the post-it notes at being able to reuse them. So I'm going to stamp my hibiscus stamps in the same colour as the little area of inking at the top and the bottom. So starting with pink in the middle, and I've got 2 blooms that I'm going to be using. These stamps are beautiful. They almost look like the flower's been pressed, and there's almost like an x-ray being taken of them, so you can see all the details of the leaves and the pollen on the stems. I really do like them, and I'm already thinking of lots of ways to use them on other designs, so watch this space and you'll see me use them again without a doubt. And then obviously cleaning off your stamps in between, make sure they're nice and dry, which I just pat them on my hand, but you could use kitchen roll, it'd probably be wiser. And then you're going to stamp again exactly the same images, but this time in the salty ocean. And then cleaning up the stamps again and coming back to the other side to repeat the process using Dusty Concord. And you can see here I haven't mounted my stamps on any cushioning, and I'm not stamping onto any cushioning, and I'm still getting beautiful images, and I think that's testament to the quality of these gorgeous rubber dance stamps. And then just finishing off with another purple hibiscus bloom. Now this set comes with the actual name of the flower in English and in Latin, and so I'm going to stamp it 3 times, again in the right colours depending on where the stamp is. Now what I've done is I've put this stamp onto a block that's got lines on it to make sure that I can see what I'm doing, to try and get the actual stamp as straight as possible. So I'm just using them as a guide and using the top line to judge where they're going to sit on the white strip. So they look fairly straight and they look fairly even, so that plan worked, and that is the topper for the card finished. You may be wondering about the birthday stamp that I've used on this card, or in fact I've used 2, and you can see here, because I'm cutting them out, it's a brand new set, so I can't give you the number, only to say that they're being launched on December the 1st over at the Rubber Dance blog, so you can pop along there and see. I've got 2 gorgeous sets here. One's by Katie, and they are sort of a little bit more modern in their font and style, and I've also got the other side, which is things like 29 again, I'm Not Blind Darling, a little bit more cheeky for those people that you know can take a joke when you send them birthday greetings. So if age is just a number, how come you look so old? 1 year older, none the wiser. I think I could send myself that one. So definitely worth popping along and checking out these brand new stamps over at Rubber Dance. So a bit of a sneak preview for you there. I want to make a little tag to go on the front of my card, so I've picked my greeting and I've cut myself a piece of cardstock to the right size, and I'm just inking up with the pink and then just catching the ends of the stamp with the purple and the blue, and I'm going to stamp this down, and then it was just a little bit wide, so I'm trimming it down in order to turn this greeting into a tag. So putting that to one side for a moment, I'm going to make a matching inner. So this piece measures 7 5/8 by 5 3/8, and I'm just masking an area off, or a strip off, at the top and the bottom. So I've measured up from the bottom 1/2 inch, and then I've measured another 1/4 inch to make a 1/4 inch band across the bottom and the top of the card. So post-it note overkill here. I'm going to hit both of those bands at the same time, and I'm making sure that I start with the same colours at each end. So I've got the Dusty Concord, just checking here, on the left hand side, and the Salty Ocean on the right, and then the pink in the middle. So I'm just working across that strip, and again creating that lovely inked effect that we created on the front of the card. And repeating the process for the other little strip. So I've just flipped the card over just for ease, and I'm just making sure they're a mirror image of the first little strip that I created. So removing the post-it notes, and you've got a lovely frame ready for your birthday stamp. This time I've picked another greeting. Again, I'm inking up with the pink first, making sure the card's the right way around, making sure the greeting is the right way up, and I've inked or caught the end of the stamp with the purple and the blue once again. And I just wanted to add one more hibiscus bloom, and I'm going to use that same inking technique. So just using that same technique of inking up with one colour and then catching the ends of the stamp with the other 2, just to create a little bit of a difference, or making the hibiscus blooms match that birthday sentiment in the middle. So that's all the stamping and inking done, so it's time to clean up and put our card together. So I had a look at the cardstock I had in my stash, and this purple was the nearest to the colours that I've been using, and I'm going to make it match a little bit more in a moment. So the card base measures 11.5 inches by 8 inches and has been scored at 5 3/4. Now I'm just taking that dusty concord and inking the edges, and you can see that there is a little bit of difference in colour, but I'm hoping that by adding this touch of ink around the edges, and because you can't really see very much of the purple card, it will make it match a little bit better the inking on the card topper. So I'm ready to attach the inner to the inside of the card. I'm going to do mine with glue. You could use double-sided tape. Good job I used glue because it was upside down. That was a quick fix with the glue. The glue hadn't dried, and glad I noticed it then. So next we're going to add the topper. I haven't done it yet, but we're going to put a piece of ribbon round first. So I've got a piece of white satin ribbon, and I'm just going to create a little strip across the card. So I'm going to put down some strong double-sided tape, and I will use this to attach it to the white frame in a moment. So just lifting off a little bit of that tape and then using it to secure the ends of the ribbon into place. So I'm not taking all of the double-sided tape off at this moment because I want to be able to just stick it back down so that I can add a little bit more tape and do a little bit more titivating to the front of the card. Remember the little birthday greeting that I put onto a small piece of card? I'm now going to turn it into a tag. So I'm adding it to some more of that purple cardstock, the same colour as I'm using on the card base, and I just want to trim it into a tag shape. So I've just made the top of the tag a little bit longer so I can put the actual tag shaping to the top and add a little place where I'm going to put the ribbon. So just literally doing this by eye, and I'm just trimming off the corners so it's a tag shape, and then I'm inking the edges to match the card base. Now at this point I wasn't sure how I wanted to put this together, so I started out by tying a couple of bits of ribbon around that ribbon strip. I quite liked that, thought I might go one more. I'm leaving this in just so you get a few ideas of what you could do on your cards. And I've done this before, I've tied a second piece of ribbon, but I just thought once I stood back a bit and looked at this, it was just a little bit too much for the way I was going. So I wasn't happy with that. Wasn't sure it was lying right, so I'm taking the top one off, thinking I might keep the bottom one, but you'll see it all changes again in a moment. So I'm leaving that bottom one in place. I think I'll use this for the top of my tag. So thinking. Well, first thing I need to do is create somewhere for that ribbon to go through. And rather than use my crocodile, I'm going to create a little slit so that the ribbon doesn't gather up too much. So I'm just sort of roughly guessing the width of the ribbon and creating a little bit of a slot for the ribbon to go through. And it's at this point you can see that I've taken off that other piece of ribbon and I'm going to just tie the tag into position. And I'm much happier with how this looks. And I just want to trim the tails of the ribbon just a little bit shorter, and then I want to add a piece of foam tape under my tag. So first of all I'm going to attach it to the white card frame. So this is the trick when you're using strong double-sided tape. Just release those corners and fold that release paper so you can catch hold of it. Then you're going to line it up on the white frame, and then once you're happy you can remove the backing from the tape. And the white frame measures 7 3/4 by 5 1/2. And finally adding a little piece of foam tape just to raise that tag slightly and hold it in position that doesn't cover up that lovely hibiscus bloom underneath. And then I'm adding glue to attach it to the front of the card. So there you have it, a birthday card idea that I hope you're going to find useful. You could achieve this look with lots of different stamps, but I hope that you pop along to Rubber Dance and check out these gorgeous hibiscus ones. And don't forget to have a peek at the brand new birthday stamps while you're there. So I will leave the links so that you can go back to my blog and follow everything over either to Rubber Dance or to the actual colour challenge for the month of December. I hope you have fun playing with pink, purple and blue, and look forward to seeing the designs that you come up with. Don't forget, there are stamps to be won. Actually, it was nice to do something that wasn't Christmas for a change. But I think I've got to get back to it because I haven't got all my Christmas cards ready yet. As you know, anyone that's been following my Christmas is Coming series, it's coming much too fast for me, and I've still got another 2 videos in the editing pipeline. So I look forward to sharing more with you soon. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like my videos, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon. Thank you for watching. First link is back to my blog for the cutting guide and those all important links to the Rubber Dance blog where you can check out the stamps and of course this month's colour challenge. Here's a link to all of the cards that I've been making using the gorgeous Rubber Dance stamps, so the Rubber Dance Design Team playlist. And then last but not least, I'm sharing a link to my Etsy shop where you can find workshops like this. Why not try baking a Christmas cake this year to put all your gorgeous holiday photos inside? Mine's ready and waiting for me to put my photographs in, and that mini album pops out from inside the cake. Gorgeous piece to give to somebody as a gift or for a home decor piece for you to keep. And don't forget, once you can make one cake, you can make a cake like this one. So the workshop is a full video tutorial of how to put this cake together. So starting off with a single tier, before long you'll be able to make a 2-tier one like this one. I made it for my friend Kathy, who turned 50, and we got the party guests to sign in the little top tier album, and the party photos went in the one at the bottom. And once you've mastered that, it doesn't take long before you can make a 3-tier cake, which is the perfect keepsake for any wedding. And you can make it to match any theme that might be going on. So match the colours to the bridal party and the flowers to the bridal bouquet, and it really does make a great keepsake gift. And you can put all your wedding photos in the bottom, honeymoon photos in the middle, and get all your guests to sign the top tier. I'm sure you'd have great fun making this and giving this as a gift. So pop along to my blog and you soon could be making your Christmas cake for this year. No rum or brandy involved. See you again soon.